So it is a little after 2 today on Friday, August 8th, and we do have a quorum here, so we'll call the Tiers Board meeting to order. At this time, we're ready for any public comment. If we have any items that are not on the regular agenda, public's welcome to come forward. Do we have anybody?
We do not have any public
Okay.
comment today.
Good, then I won't bother reading the rest of that
Perfect.
paragraph. So we are here on an emergency called meeting, moving forward to the regular agenda for consideration and possible action to provide a set-aside fund for commercial and RM1 and RM2 properties affected by the July 4th flood event in the North Tier Zone. And then also possible action to open the South Tiers application window beginning August 6th through August 29th this year. And
Yes,
so-
and thank you, Chairman, and we'll take those as separate items, just so we make sure that we get a record vote on each item.
Yes, sir.
So this first one was precipitated by the July 4th flood event. As you guys know, currently the North Tiers application window is open. We've done some evaluation, and with the event, there were 72 parcels affected within the North Tiers boundary. Now, parcels are tax parcels, but that doesn't mean that a property owner doesn't own multiple properties. 6 of those properties are currently RS1 zoned and are prohibited from receiving funding from tiers. So you take kind of those 6 out, and then there's 22 properties that are used for laydown yards or vacant without structures. Doesn't mean they don't have ownership, they just are vacant, and there was not a structural property damage at that location. So with that, this map on the left, you see the long line of orange. That is where Chadburn Street goes up to right at 33rd Street at the peak up there. And then you see that triangular area that's between Grape Creek Road and Lake Drive. That is the area that actually has some of the RS properties. And then there's that triangular area, as many of us know, that's a big laydown yard through there. But the properties along Chadburn are the ones that there was noted through the damage assessments that those properties had some level of water damage. It's not super specific of how much or where exactly on the properties they had water damage, but those are properties within the tiers that had water on them because of the July 4th flooding. So on the right, we're talking about the North Tiers. We have right now $2.5 million in the bucket for assignment. That's available for assignment, whether they come in for a private incentive or we do a set-aside recommendation today that would go to City Council on the 19th. So I just wanted to remind you all of what our current policies are. If you're in the north and a project is less than $25,000, there is no match. So they could come in and ask for $25,000, they wouldn't have to match. If it's over $25,000, there would be a 10% match, so $7,500. My recommendation is if we're going to do a set-aside, that maybe we take the matching portion away. Not sure that even if they were to get $75,000, that $7,500 for them to get where they need to go, while I think we all understand normal projects, we like to have business owners have some what we would call skin in the game. This is a special event that we've never experienced in that part of town, if not many more years ago than we would like to recall. Maybe we look at that being a waived item as our proposal to move forward. So there's 2 options from staff. One is, and that first little sentence there, or partial sentence, I think happens on either one, increase direct efforts to the affected properties. We are working on that and doing that actively now, and allow the standard process to continue. Obviously, the North Tiers is open. They could do that now. We have not had anybody come forward. We have talked to a few of the property owners. They're considering what to do. Option 2 is propose a set-aside amount, and I put $1 million. And the reason being, if we've got roughly 42 to 45 properties that have damage and they were to ask for $25,000, that's pretty close to $1 million. And that would leave 1.5 in there, with October coming up here in less than 2 months, that our new allocation would be coming forward. Obviously, y'all can make a different decision on that dollar amount, higher, lower, what you think might be appropriate. It would be used for asbestos surveys, facade replacement, driveway and parking improvements, and other things that are in the TIERS program that are eligible for TIERS funding. There's lots of different things that can be used for TIERS funding, depending on what level of damage that they had. And we would try to work with them to get, what can we do to get them the most dollars that are there. The one thing that I would think that we should consider is there a time, if we do a set aside, is there a time limit? Is there, you must apply for this set aside within 6 months? Doesn't mean they have to use it within 6 months, but apply for it. And then if nobody uses, or there's still money in the $1 million, then it just rolls over automatically back into the fund to be reallocated out as private incentives as the cycles go. With that, Chairman, I'll be happy to answer any questions, but I wanted to try to keep it very, very simple. I didn't want to complicate the process for applicants or you guys trying to make a decision, but I'm happy to answer any questions that I can.
Okay, are there any questions from the board?
On the application within 6 months, are you saying 6 months of the event or 6 months within whatever day we begin offering the funds?
6 months from the day that we begin offering the funds.
Okay.
Since we've already had some time lapse, we'd hope they'd come in quickly, but at the same time, that may not be the case for everyone. So we would recommend from the time that City Council says, yes, we would accept this as a path forward, which we anticipate August 19th.
And Aaron, will the application process still be the same? So is the reimbursement program still not upfront?
That's the way it's set up right now. We don't have anything that would be upfront, but that could be a recommendation on y'all's part, that y'all could recommend that, and then we would bring that to City Council to see if they're open to that as well, whether that's 10%, 20% of the funding that they request be upfront and then reimbursable.
And they're still going to have to provide estimates, I guess, on the cost to do all the work and all that.
We don't require a contractor estimate anymore. They just they do kind of a formula of what they think it's going to cost, and it may be higher or lower when it comes down to real cost. But we would just stay within those percentages to be able to pay them out quickly.
Did you mean upfront or did you mean the match, Brianne, when you were just talking now? When you were mentioning
Right. Well, I
upfront,
just
did you mean
wasn't
the
sure.
match?
It's still a reimbursement program, right? They have
That is
to
correct.
pay for it first and then get reimbursed.
That's the way it's designed, yes. Now, that doesn't mean your recommendation to City Council couldn't change that. I don't think they would go for 100% upfront. I think they would go with something in between, and we have done that in the past. We have just changed
This is
our,
more of an emergency situation. I mean, I don't know if a business that can't even open or operate.
Right.
You know, I don't know if it's considered, and part of it could be considered an emergency grant, like 10% of it or something. I don't know. Just to get them.
Yeah.
yeah, and be mindful for those that are, as you're thinking of formulating a recommendation for vote, how that would look, whether you, so think about, do we waive the match? Do we have a percentage that's paid up front? Is there a timeline, and what is the total amount in the set-aside fund?
Okay, so on I just kind of want to have some discussion. I like the idea of no match, to Brianne's point, that because this may be an emergency, could be affecting other employees, you know, that they can't really get going. So I just like to see us not do a match. And then I think I'd like to see an up to a certain percentage from what they're asking for. So if they're asking for 50, that we would give up to a certain percentage of what they're actually asking for, so that they could at least get started. Because some of the businesses may have also been affected at their homes. And so I think we just need to be sensitive to that.
Any other comments or questions?
I see Stephen down there thinking pretty deeply.
Well, he's been working his calculator over here.
This is,
If all 22 were eligible, took the money, it'd be roughly about $45,000 a piece, is it right?
Yes, sir, roughly about that. Some of them are they're smaller structures, some are big structures, some are multiple parcels. And so you know, if we average 2 out of 3 actually applying, this $1 million is going to be more than adequate to cover it, I believe. Now, unless there's much more severe damage that we're just not aware of, which is
You're talking
always
about-
possible.
You're talking about a 75,000 max grant, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Did I understand that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I would say y'all could recommend a higher amount if that's something you're leaning towards, but
that's probably pretty close,
yeah.
in my mind. Y'all may disagree or may not.
So I got kind of lost. How many of them are eligible?
22.
42,
I
yeah.
thought it
that's
was
what- I thought
like
you said
44.
22.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I had 42.
So, yeah, when we-
down. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, 72, I get 22.
okay,
Yeah, so when you start taking those
I
out,
got the wrong one, never mind.
Yeah,
and there's some that are
30 out,
just
yeah.
vacant properties,
28, yeah.
so if
Yeah.
so what was your number,
I
Stephen?
was thinking,
If 22, how much was it?
if it's 22, we got 72 parcels affected though.
Well, it's 48 that are eligible, correct? I mean, if we take the
Okay.
22 that are
we do it
vacant or
again?
laydowns,
that would have what we would consider permanent structures that would probably qualify to get some of these dollars, where a laydown yard or a vacant property, if they had water inundation,
That's only $20,000 a property, for 48, so
Yeah.
that's not enough money.
okay?
the 1 million? You're going off the, if we,
Of 1 million, yeah.
off 1 million?
But I mean.
But not all those 48 properties are gonna need
Correct,
$75,000.
correct.
Some of them are minor.
And there's always an opportunity that they could apply through the regular program
Right.
as well.
Right.
Right, I was about to say that, and also that we're not trying to necessarily make all of them whole. You know, we're doing this over a special period of time, and so it's kind of like first come, first serve, if you will. So I don't think we're trying to address all 72 properties, but we would hold it, and I like the idea of doing it within a certain period of time, even if it is the 6 months, maybe that is even too long, because this is July is when the event happened. And so maybe it even needs to be a shorter period of time, because everybody kind of knows what their damage is by now, right? That they apply within 90 days from when the council would approve it, as opposed to 6 months, because people have already identified what their issues are. That's my opinion.
And there are other deadlines that are close to that, correct? I mean, the FEMA and some of the other funds that have been opened up or released, whether it's, I'm thinking of FEMA and the property tax reassessment.
It's very possible. I don't recall those exact
Okay.
deadlines, so
Yeah.
I don't want to mention yes or no, so I'm
Sure.
not sure.
And I'm just thinking out loud right
Yeah.
here, but yeah.
I'm kind of thinking $1 million might be okay to start with, because there's some of those down through there I think are probably corporate owned or real estate investment trust owned that probably are not gonna do that. And we can, if this deal really takes off, we can always come back and backfill it at a later date. So I don't know how, I'm a little nervous about giving them money up front, but I think that's probably necessary. Because not only are they damaged, their clientele are dealing with other issues
They may be
that.
impacted too. They may not be able to open up for their employees to, you know, their
Yeah.
employees are gonna be impacted. So I had another question on let me see, was it just Steve just made this note? I'm sorry, it's gone out of my mind. I was listening to you and I was trying to bring in something Steve said, and it just,
About the amount per business.
If you give them money up front, what kind of receipts should you require? You need some documentation if you give them money up front, how that's spent. Because somebody might just put it in their pocket and we never know you. They must-
That's a very good question.
What I would like for them to do, if you give them money up front, and I'm not opposed to that personally, they need to state the intended purpose to you before you give it to them, and before you authorize it. And then, once you give it to them, they must bring you a receipt within 30 days of how it was used. And then you can, with names and numbers, and you verify it.
Okay. I think that's reasonable. I
Okay.
think that's accomplishable through staff to be able to do that. Because I do think, obviously, we want the money to be used there at the property. That's what the money is for, is to help
they're-
that property
they're-
get back on their feet.
Their contractors and everything, you need to verify that that work was done.
Yeah.
And what they charged. Because what may happen is, oh, Brown may go up there and charge him $8,000 and let him put $2,000 in his pocket.
Right.
See what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the senior remembered what she wanted to ask. So if we don't spend it all, does it go back into the fund?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We would write the
Okay.
ordinance or the resolution for that, at that period that it expires, any money that has not been encumbered would go back into the pot for.
Okay, and can staff, does staff have the capacity to really handle this much activity?
Say that again, ma'am?
Does staff have the capacity to handle this much activity, you know,
We'll make
once
it,
we open it up?
we'll make it work. We may
Okay.
have a very long tiers meeting to get it going through and get it assigned, but we will do what we can.
Okay.
We will try to help those business owners
concerned
keep
about-
going.
Aaron, I do kind of want to touch base on something too, since we're kind of talking about putting money up forward or up front, if that's what y'all decide to move forward with. I know even now I do get asked, I've already done the work, but can I get reimbursed, even though they haven't even applied or something? Can we maybe touch base on that a little bit, or just say, just solidify that if they've already done the improvements, are they going to be eligible for reimbursement? Is that's kind of the direction y'all are leaning? Because historically, we don't do that. So I just wanted to touch base and kind of talk about that.
So I think the question is if they've already done the work today,
Yeah.
and this part has not been approved through you guys to city council, they come to us in a week after it may get approved at city council, would this program reimburse them for that work
If they can
prior?
give you, if they can give you receipts, yeah.
I don't,
And I'm saying
I think
historically,
that-
we don't allow that.
I
don't
think we
think
need
that's
to
what
stick
we're
with
saying.
precedent on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
No,
think if you could say it was flood related. Like
Okay.
if they could prove it was an emergency flood related damage and they can have receipts, then I would be for reimbursing them in this situation.
sure.
Because it's a kind of a
Not to-
special.
It's going to be the board's pleasure, not, you're looking at me.
I'm not in
That's what
agreement
we'll
with
vote on.
that because we can't confirm what it was before or after the flood. And so, they can say that's what it was. I don't think anybody would, I don't think it's going to be a lot of people that say
We
that.
know they were in the flood.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, my position on it is that if they've already done the work, then it's kind of like that's the way the rest of the people have to deal with it, is that they got the work done. But I don't think we need to go back and pay them, reimburse them for work
work
that's
they've
already
already
been
done.
done that we can't verify.
What I mean, if they're in an emergency situation and just trying to get their business back open, they could have borrowed money, they could have, we don't, I mean, I know we don't know every special circumstance, but if we're trying to help the people in this zone, I don't know.
Can we pause this conversation for just a second? I have so would it be better for us to break down like the amount and then the requirements and then either the upfront or the match and vote on those separately? Or do you want us to hash this out and then make one motion?
I think it's better to go with one motion for
Okay.
the entire program.
Okay, so we'll keep talking. So, so you said you're ready to make the motion. Let's make it.
Let's hear it, let's hear it.
Yeah,
I can make the
Okay.
motion.
Well, let's hear what you want
Yeah.
to do.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we extend $1 million to assist commercial businesses of the 72 properties already identified, up to $50,000 maximum with no match, and for them to respond to the application within 90 days of approval by the city council.
what about, in that motion, are you gonna say anything about either giving them money up front or?
To follow the current guidelines.
So no money up front, it would be a
No money up
reimbursement.
front?
Correct.
Do we have a second?
Would you accept a modification to your motion?
I'm listening.
1 million upfront, like, 1 million set aside. 75,000 max grant. 5,000 upfront provided verification of work done and receipts received.
Is that an up to?
No more than 5,000 upfront,
With no match?
with
No
no
match.
match. And that 5,000 is part of the 75 max, or whatever grant they get. They can get up to $75,000
Okay.
with no match.
And that's the only part I
And
won't
then,
accept
and
on your amendment.
5,000 can be obtained upfront, provided they provide verification and documentation of the work done and names of contractors or people who did it before they get that 5,000.
The only thing I don't agree with your friendly amendment is the maximum amount of 75. I think
What would you agree on?
50,000 max.
You think that's enough, huh?
We're just trying to help.
Would they be able to come back and reapply? I mean,
Because-
in the regular process?
can they
If
not-
it's more?
Would you agree on 60? Let's split
Oh,
the
we're gonna
difference.
negotiate. You're gonna go there with me, Steve?
Okay, I don't care.
Okay, 52.5.
Let's round it off, even number, 55,000.
I can go with that.
Okay, 55,000.
So you want to modify your amendment or your
Okay.
motion?
And I'll try
Hang
to
on
do
a
that.
second, since I feel like I'm in the Texas legislature
I know.
negotiating for
I know.
Like,
Have you been watching that?
all his notes.
And I like your reimbursement thing if they've already done it. If they haven't been able to do it, I think they need to have access to at least 10% of what they're asking for to get started. Because do we do liens on their property when you throw the money to them? Or is that's probably too cumbersome?
We do not
Kathleen?
up front. We do have a contract with them.
Okay.
We don't
all
throw a
right.
lien on them.
But it's either or. If they've spent the money, reimburse them, or if they haven't yet, if they're waiting on it, let them have it get started.
Yeah.
Is what I'd like to see.
That's good, that's a good idea.
Okay, Mr. Chair, is the motion, we didn't get a second. Are we ready to restate the motion?
Let's restate the
Restate it,
motion.
Let's talk about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, if we are going to restate the motion, I believe that the process is that you withdraw the motion that is currently on the table and repropose a motion. Thank you.
So Shirley,
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The motion is that the Tiers Board set aside $1 million for the use of the 72 parcel owners that have been identified as a result of damage from the July 4th flood. They will require no match and will be awarded up to $55,000 and up to 10% upfront with receipts. Receipts/invoices.
receipts/invoices.
Receipts or invoices.
So if someone's already done the work.
No,
Oh,
that's not my motion.
okay.
And I want to just clarify, is that still with the 90-day application window?
I'm sorry, thank you. To apply within 90 days of approval by city council. And when they call for the question, I'll respond to yours,
Okay.
if we get the second.
So just to clarify, 1 million allocated for the 72 parcels that we've identified that have been affected, no match, and up to $55,000, and they can receive 10% upfront once approved if they have either our invoices or estimates.
Yes, that
Okay,
is the
and-
motion.
And the 90-day window.
That is the motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
Can I ask for one clarification?
Yes,
I
sir.
thought what they said, there was 28 of them that weren't available.
72.
There's 72 total properties. Let me get to the right place. We know that
Right there.
6 are RS1 that will be excluded from that 72. They won't be eligible just based on tiers rules, even at the state level. There are 22 properties that have laydown yard and are vacant without structures.
Okay.
Now, more than likely, they're not going to come forward and apply for anything because there may be nothing in the tiers program that could assist them that's there. Now, they're still part of those 72, so we're estimating around 45 to 48 properties that have structures that are businesses that are either commercial or RM1 that could come forward with something.
Just trying to get the numbers right.
Yeah,
Sure.
So her motion will work.
yes.
Everybody happy with that? You second that, Steve? I second it.
Okay, good.
All right.
But you're gonna give them 5,500, I was only gonna give them 5,000. Okay, that's all right.
So we have a second. Do we have any comments?
Is there any public comment?
We have no public comment for this item.
Okay, you answered my question. I mean, it was answered in the discussion, so, all right, so we have a motion on the floor for the second, no public comments. Do we have, well, we need to call for a vote, so all in favor, say aye. Aye. There's no opposing votes, so the motion passes.
All right, Chairman, we will put this together and we'll get this on the August 19th City Council for their hearing, and we'll have it ready for them to hear. And then as soon as they make their decision, we will move forward with what program comes out of that to get that to the property owners as fast as possible.
Okay, and y'all will keep working to notify
Yes, sir.
the businesses that have been affected?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right, so next thing on the agenda is the consideration and possible action to open a application window in the South Tier Zone beginning August 6th through the 29th.
It'll work. So let's amend that to, what is Monday? What is Monday?
Yeah,
Today's the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, August 11th.
yeah.
Through the
That's
29th.
what I was thinking when I read that earlier. I thought,
Yeah.
oh, wait, the date's off.
I think when that was written, we were thinking we were going to try to get the meeting in on Wednesday, but there just weren't enough
Okay.
until, yeah.
Okay.
That's an oversight
Sure.
on my part.
That's all right. So August 11th through August 29th.
Yes.
And then
And
just for me, in my mind, the window, I mean, isn't there another one that opens up right after that for South?
usually, once we get our allocation at the October 1st, at the October meeting, we open another window because we know how much more dollars we have at that time.
Okay.
Can't
know-
open it up right now for the whole time?
That's a good question. I would say traditionally we have not, but I think it is up to the discretion of the board. It is another month. And looking at like, we know we have 408,000 in there today. We know that number will change October 1. I know Monica is working with folks in downtown San Angelo area in the South Tiers do they need to get to the Design and Historic Review Commission to meet one of the criterias of the South Tiers to then get to apply for it. And that's why we're trying to open this now, because essentially they won't get to DHRC until September. Now, I think all because we have this amount here, that does not mean that we couldn't open it longer and allow more people to apply, that the August 29th end date might not be the best end date. So if that's a consideration, but right now we just have the 408, and that's really for y'all's consideration is, obviously staff was thinking about just the 408. Obviously you guys are correct that we're bumping up against the October 1 new fiscal year with new allocation would be coming into the South. We don't exactly know what that is, but around, usually the last couple of years, been from 500, 600 to 700,000. So fairly high. The other consideration we may think, and there is no decisions on this by any means, is that we do have our Tier Strategic Planning Committee working through all of that paperwork in the background, and they may be making some recommendations in September on our policies and dollar amounts. I don't know that that impacts this specifically, but just to be thinking of if we went from 75,000 to 100,000 as a maximum award or something of that nature. Just be thinking of those things. But I do think that there was a desire at the last Tiers Board meeting, we want to open up the South so we can get some applicants. And that's really what's before you today. Do we open up the South, and if so, for how long?
So do we have applicants in the queue right now?
Talking with Monica yesterday, we knew of 2, I believe,
I
and
was
there
gonna
may
say, I
be.
believe we have 1 or 2.
Yeah, there may be a few others, but she knows of 2 for sure.
Okay, and so we don't want to extend it beyond October 1 because that starts the new fiscal year for the city, correct?
It does start the new fiscal year for the city. Usually, the South Fund is out of dollars at this time. This is unique for us to have dollars in there remaining. So it is,
On the south,
yes, ma'am.
okay.
And so that is, I think, the unique question in front of us is, do we continue to keep it open until we do run out of funds completely?
How long is the window normally open from October 1st?
Usually a 30-day window is
Okay.
usually what we start
So
with.
that's standard.
That's standard. This is obviously shorter than that, but my mindset at the time was unfortunately not thinking long-term. It was just thinking, how do we get the $400 accessible?
So this suggestion here is August 11th through the 29th, so a couple of weeks. So we could look at moving it to a further date in September.
Yes, ma'am.
Or we could just say, hey, we'll open
So
it
don't
up.
just give it an additional 30 days from August 11th to September the 11th.
Well, or we could just say August 11th until, I just make it go all the way through the October window. That's another option.
Is it October 1 that we open up the October window? Is it October 1?
Usually it is when the board meets in late October, because we don't know that dollar amount
So you
yet.
got some time
But
there.
that would be y'all's purview at this moment, yes.
Well, I don't think we want to get into 26 budget, so I think we need to stop at the 25 budget period.
Those applications would just carry over though. I
Yeah.
mean, then we just don't have to vote again to open it back up in October. I mean, if it stayed open, that wouldn't hurt, it doesn't hurt anything, does it? I mean,
Not
money's gonna
necessarily, no,
come
ma'am.
when they
I think
apply.
for the South, it puts urgency in those, but that was when there was high competition for dollars that could, I mean, there's only a certain amount. We seem to have some surplus this year. We're hoping to have a good report in October that we have a lot of dollars for people to apply.
I make a motion, we open it up October 1. Let's see, let's get it off the dead center. If somebody wants to modify it, we'll do something different. What's your start date? Huh? What's your start, open it on when? Open, leave it open till October 1. From now through October 1.
I second it.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor. Any comments, questions, public comments?
No comments.
All right, so no modifications, anything? Well, y'all don't have any. So with that,
Wait a second, is that AM or PM?
it's like, boy, we're getting off in the weeds there. So we'll call for a vote. If you are in favor of this motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, any naysayers? There are none, so it passes. And with that, we have made it through the regular agenda, so we will move on. And so our next regular meeting of the Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone will begin on Tuesday, August 20, well, it'll be Tuesday, August 26th in the East Mezzanine right here. And it will start at 2 p.m. Not 2:30.
2:30.
And Aaron, you'll try to get us an update on interest earned by that time?
Yes, sir, that's the goal.
So we'll have a better figure in August, what we think is going to happen to us.
That's the goal,
On
yes,
both
sir.
funds, I mean, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good. Having nothing else on the agenda?
Trey,
No.
before we adjourn, can I
Yes.
say something? I just
Absolutely.
want to say something publicly. This doesn't really pertain. To those in the South, have to have DHRC approval before they can have tiers, or before they can submit a tiers application. I just want to put that out there publicly.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you for letting us know, and anybody watching know. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Y'all are worth more money, you're not going to get it if you're working.